Now at 9, the Kansas governor announces COVID-19 boosters available to all fully vaccinated adults.
President Biden talks going green to save Americans money. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington with more on his Build Back Better proposal coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Abbey. State of Kansas has announced it's opening vaccine boosters to all eligible adults. KOM's Chris Warner spoke with Crawford County Health Department about this announcement.
On Wednesday, Governor Laura Kelly and the Kansas Department of Health and Environment announced the COVID booster shots will be open to all vaccinated Kansans ages 18 and up.
It puts the decision, to the individual themselves for them to kind of assess what they feel like their exposure risk is at home, at work, out in the community.
There are still some restrictions in place. The first we mentioned, you must be 18 or older, and depending on which vaccine you received, there's a wait time. If you received a Pfizer or Moderna vaccine, you must wait 6 months before getting a booster. That time is only 2 months if you got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Teddy Van Cam with the Crawford County Health Department says the boosters are important to keep everyone safe beyond the length of initial vaccination.
The vaccine's doing its job, because even if someone does become ill, the illness is very mild. They stay out of the hospital, off of ventilators, and, their chances of dying are much, much smaller.
Van Cam says vaccine supply for boosters is not a concern, and she encourages you to get yours as soon as you're eligible.
We do booster clinics twice a week that we advertise, but we don't turn anyone away. If they aren't able to come on the days that we kind of set aside for booster doses, as long as they can get here between Monday and Friday, we will help them.
In Crawford County, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
Kentucky made a similar announcement today, while Arkansas announced open booster availability on Monday. The rise of vaccinations and the end of COVID restrictions will likely lead to families gathering once again for the holidays this year, but some parents worry this could be a dangerous situation, especially for their youngest and most vulnerable kids, those under the age of 5. Fox's John Monahan talks to the chief epidemiologist at Tufts Medical Center in Boston about this COVID concern.
Now that children 5 and older can get vaccinated, what about kids younger than 5? Can parents safely send them to daycare? And what about the upcoming holidays? We took our questions to Tufts Medical Center's head epidemiologist, Dr. Shira Daron.
Children do get COVID, and they do transmit COVID. They're much more likely to be asymptomatic.
In a daycare setting, Dr. Daron says shutting down if someone gets COVID isn't necessary unless.
But outside of an unsafe staffing situation, I don't think that we need to react necessarily with closing at this point.
We also spoke to Tiffany Sullivan. She's the director of For Pete's Sake Preschool in Attleboro to see what they do.
All of our children are masked the whole time that they're at school, with the exception of when they play outside.
The state's latest COVID numbers show just 982 cases for children 4 years and under in the last 2 weeks.
The risk to the unvaccinated child is still far lower than the risk to the vaccinated adult.
Dr. Daron says the same goes for the holidays. If you're mixing older vaccinated adults with unvaccinated children under 5, it's a balancing act.
Children are protected by their youth, and gathering with family and friends for the holidays is very important. And so particularly if all the adults are vaccinated, I would not avoid those gatherings.
Doug Eddy joining us now. You were just saying, man, you're ready for some turkey, aren't you? That turkey looked good.
I love Thanksgiving food. It's one of my very favorite holidays. I like to eat.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, eating's kind of fun. It satisfies me. And then I take my nap and then I come to work. That's what I'm going to do on Thanksgiving. All right, for us today, significantly colder after 10 a.m. When we got the cold front, prior to it, it was 68 degrees if you're outside. When the front rolled through, the winds flopped around and it dropped really quickly. We got a lot of clouds with it. We had a few random little sprinkles, random little showers. It's not a big deal. Still, we have a few light little showers out there, but most of you are going to end up staying dry as we go through the overnight hours tonight. And the clouds will start to break up later on tonight. But it is chilly, mid to upper 40s. We're going to drop back near freezing. When are we going to warm back up? We'll look at that here in a bit.
Doug, thank you. President Biden is on the road once again explaining how the money in the infrastructure bill will help Americans. But getting his second spending bill across the finish line isn't a guarantee. Fox's Lauren Blanchard explains from D.C.
President Biden traveling to an electric vehicle plant in Detroit, pushing the idea that going green will allow Americans to keep more green in their wallets. The green movement also in Congress, where the president's party is inching forward on his nearly $2 trillion spending bill with more renewable energy initiatives.
So it's imperative that the House of Representatives pass this Build Back Better package, because the Senate needs to receive that package and to then pass it before Christmas. I am dreaming of a green Christmas.
But Christmas and other holiday shopping, a real concern for Americans feeling the pinch of supply chain problems.
Inflation that we haven't seen in 31 years. Inflation is a tax on every single American.
Republicans say Democrats should worry less about green policies and focus on legislation that will help lower current prices.
Thanksgiving stands to be the most expensive ever. The general public, quite frankly, is extremely concerned by this.
Some will try to blame the Biden administration for these woes, but let's remember, nearly every part of the supply chain is dominated by private businesses.
Wednesday, President Biden asked the Federal Trade Commission to investigate why gas prices remain so high and if it's because of illegal price hiking by oil and gas companies. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
As the temperatures drop, some folks in Joplin are chasing the chill. It's an annual event aimed at collecting scarves, caps, and gloves to keep 4-staters warm.
So we basically collect it, and then the second week of December every year we go out into the city with our volunteers. We attach it to a love note, we leave it on a bench, a tree, basically yarn bomb the city to let people know they can go out and get those. There's no expectations, requirements, or anything. You're just welcome to pick it up.
Chase the Chill says so far they've collected about 300 scarves. Right now is Fox 14's 18th annual Feed the 4 States food drive. We are collecting non-perishable food items at Wesco Home Furnishing stores in Missouri, Kansas, also Oklahoma, also Feline Dermatology and Tropical Tan in Joplin. Donations will help stock the shelves of area food pantries, places like Crosslines and Wesley House during this season of high demand. Now you can also give online monetarily at komnewsnow.com/feed. Food drive will continue until December 31st. Now, monetary donations can be stretched to provide 4 meals per dollar. So please, donate what you can, and we thank you in advance. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time to honor another 4th-day hero. Jimmy Castongo served in the U.S. Army from 1941 to 1944. Native of Cherokee, Kansas, Castongo earned several awards. We are proud to thank Corporal Jimmy Castongo, a 4th-state hero. Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast, and a bit later, the Frontenac Raiders aiming to move on to the state championship game on Friday against Holton. Going to hear from the Raiders in sports.
Are you buyrider.com?
Well, we started the day fairly nice temperatures, upper 60s to near 70, and then we had the cold front. Temperatures really dropped off throughout the day. It's been cloudy, a few sprinkles, windy, colder. It's going to be cold tonight. It's going to be chilly over the next couple days. Then we'll start to rebound just a little bit. Great shot. This is Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri, right on the west side of the town. Looks pretty good. Still a lot of clouds across most of the area, and our temperatures were about 15 to 20, upwards to 25 degrees colder than what we were this time yesterday. This is our 24-hour temperature change. So it is quite a bit cooler across the area. And if you look at our temps yesterday, near 80, we held fairly steady in the 60s and then the front. And then we dropped into the 50s. A very quick drop for us during the morning hours. Outside right now, it's chilly, upper 40s to near 50. We're going to drop back near freezing later on tonight. You can see that front just barreling through during the daytime hours. We have pretty strong north winds behind it. The winds are diminishing a bit. They're going to kind of stay in that 5 to 15 mile per hour range as we go through the overnight hours. 7th range line looking northwest, currently outside 49, north winds at 15. Humidity is low at about 39%. Still a lot of clouds, still a few random little sprinkles out there. In general, most of us are dry. Most of us are going to stay dry tonight as this system starting to get going, but heading away from us. And if we look back toward the west, there's not a whole bunch going on, but you can see the jet stream, those upper level winds kind of dipping out of Canada, and that's why we're colder behind this storm system. You can see really the entire Central Plains cold, and then you run into the front. On the other side of it, that's where our 60s and our 70s went, at least for a few days. All right, let's go through time. Tonight, clouds will start to break up, cold, down into lower 30s. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow, just kind of chilly. Here's your day planner for you. We're going to start at 32, 48 by noon, high temp right around 52. A little breezy, those northwesterly winds at about 10 to 15. Tomorrow night, even colder. We drop into the mid to upper 20s, so a cold start. Remember, tomorrow night, if you want to go outside in the cold, you can see the partial lunar eclipse. It's going to be peaking right about 3 o'clock in the morning. Let's go into Friday afternoon. A few clouds, a little bit better as we jump into the mid 50s for highs. I think Saturday looks great as we warm into lower 60s. Then we get another cold front with a few showers Saturday night and into Sunday morning. All right, 52 tomorrow, 55 Friday, 62 Saturday. A little bit cooler on Sunday. Cools down on Monday, warms back up. Next Wednesday, big travel day. We're going to have a few showers, but overall looks pretty good. Thanksgiving, chilly, but we should be dry. So if you're doing local travel around the area, right now, it looks like it's going to be fine.
And I think that's the main thing. It's going to be chilly, but at least
we're going to be inside eating turkey, watching football.
Yeah, there you got it. Doug, thank you. Catch you in a little bit. Coming up, another day of jury deliberations.
2 days of deliberations and still no verdict in the Kyle Rittenhouse murder trial. I'm Maltha Rivera in Kenosha, Wisconsin with the details coming up.
Steve Bannon pleading not guilty today to criminal charges that he defied a congressional subpoena from a U.S. House panel in the Capitol riot investigation. Bannon, a longtime advisor to former President Donald Trump, was indicted last week by a federal grand jury on 2 counts of contempt of Congress. He has vowed to fight the subpoena, claiming it's a politically motivated attack by the current Biden administration. Court documents filed today say Bannon was set to be arraigned in court tomorrow, but agreed to waive his right to a formal reading of the indictment. Second day of the jury deliberation in the Kyle Rittenhouse murder trial was all about video evidence. The jury asking to get another look at the footage, while the legal teams argued over a piece of drone video, prompting one side to ask for a mistrial. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera is outside the courthouse in Kenosha, Wisconsin with these details.
2 days of deliberations in the Kyle Rittenhouse murder trial and still no verdict. The jury spending about 45 minutes Wednesday afternoon rewatching video evidence as they work to determine if Kyle Rittenhouse fired shots in self-defense or if he was acting as a vigilante when he shot 3 men, killing 2 during turbulent protests in Kenosha, Wisconsin last year. The jury asking to review footage, including drone footage that shows the shooting of Joseph Rosenbaum.
I'm going to be asking the court for a mistrial.
On the table, 2 motions for a mistrial, one with prejudice, one without, in which the defense says the state withheld higher quality drone video, allegedly giving them a lower resolution version of potentially crucial video. The video, only shown by the prosecution during closing arguments, claims to show Rittenhouse pointing a gun at protesters before the fatal shooting.
We didn't have the quality of evidence that the state had until the case had been closed. And I think that is required in a case like this where he's looking at a life sentence, potentially without parole if he's convicted.
And I do not believe an unknown technical incident should result in a mistrial.
The judge not yet making a ruling, but says he can declare a mistrial at any time, even after the jury reaches a verdict.
If there's a guilty verdict on any degree, then the motion will have to be addressed.
And outside the courthouse, tempers are flaring as protesters on both sides wait for a verdict. Kenosha police intervening, taking multiple protesters into custody. Deliberations are expected to resume Thursday morning. In Kenosha, Wisconsin, Maltha Rivera, Fox News.
All right, next, a possible faster way to get from St. Louis to Chicago.
As America emerges from the pandemic, the travel industry is spending big bucks on a slew of high-tech rail projects. I'm Brett Larson in New York. I've got the details coming up.
Wilson Furniture at Import Warehouse.
That constant ringing and dinging Phones seems to be taking a toll on all of us. A study conducted at the University of California at Irvine found that notifications on our smartphones have the tendency to increase stress. Well, no kidding, right? But more specific, the research finds that on average, people switch screens more than 550 times a day, and that takes a toll on our productivity, with the average person taking more than 25 minutes to return to their original tasks before being distracted. Experts say bosses and companies should start encouraging employees to turn these notifications off, set up quiet hours to reduce stress and improve mood. Just encourage that, at least. High-speed rail travel is poised for a post-COVID-19 recovery, with a number of companies taking advantage of the infrastructure funding to get new projects off the ground. Fox's Brett Larson has more in this edition of Fox on Tech.
It's another sign we're emerging from the pandemic. Travel is back, with Americans hitting the skies, roads, and rails in big numbers again. And some high-tech transportation companies are seizing the moment, including a number of super-fast rail projects. In Illinois, lawmakers are planning to use federal infrastructure funding on a high-speed train connecting Chicago and St. Louis. And in Miami, Brightline trains are back after suspending service in March of 2020. And the company has been keeping busy, laying new track for a major expansion during the outbreak. It will soon connect to Orlando, Florida's biggest tourist destination. Welcome news for business owners who say it's just what the doctor ordered after more than a year of COVID-related setbacks.
We expect that there's going to be major economic stimulation overall to the city of Miami, something we've never experienced before because we've never had connectivity with the entire state.
The Brightline trains currently reach speeds of about 79 miles an hour, but the Orlando expansion will roughly double that, bringing tourists to and from Miami in roughly 3 hours. And there are plans to expand out west with a commuter line between Las Vegas and Southern California, with investment in high-speed trains expected to reach more than $4 billion in the U.S. in 2022. The maiden Brightline voyage didn't go as smoothly as planned. The train hit a car carrying a woman and her grandchild, but there were no serious injuries reported. In New York, Brett Larson, Fox News.
Coming up, why a popular breakfast sandwich going to be on sale tomorrow.
Pivoting.
For those of you who remember when the Egg McMuffin was introduced, you may love the sandwich, not too keen on the price. Well, McDonald's is celebrating its popular breakfast menu items' 50th anniversary tomorrow by selling them for just 63 cents, the original price. The now iconic breakfast sandwich, of course, right there, features a rounded cracked egg, Canadian bacon, melted cheese on a toasted English muffin. McDonald's challenges fans to hack their order by adding tomato, honey, jam, putting chicken inside, or other combinations. So if you're driving around tomorrow and you get hungry, the tummy's growling, there you go. Just give that a try. 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming your way.
The Pittsburgh Chamber of Commerce is hosting a Women in Business Entrepreneur Series as a way to get more women-owned businesses in Pittsburgh and help out those that are already here. I'm Bronte Sorotsky with those details.
Plus, some area students showing off all their hard work on a research project. Pittsburgh Chamber of Commerce is introducing a new series to get more women-owned businesses into Pittsburgh and to offer assistance to those already here. KON's Bronte Sorotsky has more on the Chamber's Women in Business Entrepreneur Series.
Gloria Montez, owner of Montez Roofing, says being a woman-owned business comes with its challenges.
We are a woman-owned and minority-owned in the state of Kansas. Scary. It just, brings pressure.
And the city's Chamber of Commerce wants to help women business owners like Montez.
The kickoff of our first of a 4-part series that we're going to offer business owners.
It's called the Women in Business Entrepreneur Series. Its goal to get more women-owned businesses here in Pittsburgh and help out those already established here.
We wanted to bring something to the community and to those if they're thinking about opening a business. In the midst of coming out of COVID, people have taken their side hustle and made it a business.
Through the series, the Chamber aims to teach Pittsburgh women what they need to know to take the next step towards starting their business.
start off on the right foot, learn what the difference is between a corporation, an LLC, cash flow, what those projections are like. And also, we will have a panelist discussion there from 3 women-owned businesses that have started their own business and are in their own building.
The Chamber is joining forces with Pitt State's Small Business Development Center, something Montez is familiar with.
The Kansas Small Business Development at Pitt State, they're able to help with writing a business plan. So that kind of helped me a lot in getting started and getting the ball rolling.
And no matter if you're starting out or already have a business, the Chamber hopes they can help all female entrepreneurs. In Pittsburgh, Bronte Sorotsky, KUAM News.
Series is going to kick off December 2nd at the Block 22 Conference Room in downtown. Vision Carthage today announced its holiday event plans. They're calling it Hometown Holidays. It's going to run from November 26th through January 1st. The event is going to feature 5 activities, including, pretty cool, a synthetic ice skating rink.
So, come into the village and enjoy all of the fun things, all the inflatables. They're kind of inflatables on steroids is what I call them. And then, and of course, experience the ice skating as well. It's a synthetic ice skating rink, so it's not real ice. So it doesn't matter if it's 70 degrees or, 30 degrees like today, so.
General admission to the event will be $10 a person, $5 for Carthage residents. Students at St. Anne's Catholic School in Carthage today presented all their hard work on a history project. 3rd through 6th grade students researched the lives, cultures, countries, and traditional foods of famous Catholic saints. It's all part of the school's annual cultural night.
It helped me get around the school, get to know the people. It helped me get better, not to be shy. It helped me with my social skills and about my saint and how because the more I do this project, the more saints I get to explore, and I get to talk about them with other people so they can know.
The event also featured a raffle. Well, a new Alzheimer's drug is heading for human trials. A nasal vaccine aimed at preventing and slowing the onset of Alzheimer's is moving on to a human trial at a Boston hospital. Trials will begin with 16 people, ages 60 to 85, with early signs of Alzheimer's. It's going to last for about 6 months. This first trial will be testing the safety of the drug as well as any side effects. A proposed second round of human trials will be testing the efficacy of the vaccine over a longer period of time. Doctors at Boston's Brigham and Women's Hospital say the drug is the culmination of 20 years worth of research. This year's Thanksgiving dinner already expected to be expensive because of the supply chain issues we've been hearing about. Some reports suggest the average cost of the traditional Thanksgiving meal could reach a record. Fox News multimedia reporter Austin Westfall is in Selma, North Carolina, where sweet potato farmers are talking about the challenges of getting their crops to customers during the holiday season.
Over 65% of the nation's sweet potatoes are grown right here in this region of North Carolina. Farmers say that supply chain issues and staffing shortages are causing a hectic time amid an already hectic, busy holiday season. They say what might be the worst, though, is the fear of the unknown.
When COVID comes along and it impacts so many businesses that we rely on, but we have no control over, it makes things scary.
During the holiday season, Scott Farms ships north of 2.5 million pounds of sweet potatoes per week. They're one of the largest sweet potato harvesters in the nation, but their 70-person packing facility is still vulnerable to pandemic-related problems.
We're running low on staff. We could easily staff 15 people or more right now.
They also sometimes have trouble shipping their sweet potatoes.
The times that we've had to cut containers, cut loads on to be shipped overseas simply because there wasn't a container to put them in.
Fuel, fertilizer, chemicals. We're also concerned about availability of fertilizer.
Scott Farms says the cost to run their company has spiked 25% because supply chain issues made it hard to find essentials. With all this, you might think that sweet potatoes will cost a pretty penny this Thanksgiving. But the North Carolina Sweet Potato Commission says otherwise.
Consumers should expect the pricing for their fresh sweet potatoes that they may purchase at the stores for this Thanksgiving meal to almost be identical to last year's prices that they paid.
However, the U.S. Department of Agriculture says the cost of sweet potatoes is slightly rising this year by 6 cents per pound. with other Thanksgiving favorites like turkey and butternut squash rising too. The extra dollars and cents may add up, which is why experts anticipate this could be one of the more expensive Thanksgiving meals on record. The Sweet Potato Commission does not expect any sweet potato shortages at grocery stores across the U.S. because farms have been working around the clock. Scott Farms is prepared for this to be the new normal, at least for now.
Our job is to prepare for that, get through it, and look for better times ahead.
At the time of our visit, Scott Farms appeared to have a stable supply of truck drivers to ship their product. They did, however, say that they did not see an end in sight to those supply chain issues. In Selma, North Carolina, Austin Westfall, Fox News.
A bit later, celebrating the one-of-a-kind.
Today is Guinness World Records Day. I'm Marianne Rafferty with a look at all the amazing kicks, flips, and tricks landing people a coveted spot in the popular book. Coming up.
Definitely a much colder evening compared to what we saw this time yesterday evening. Strong cold front rolled through late morning, about 10 o'clock for most of us, and we dropped very quickly, almost a degree per minute for a little bit as the colder air worked in. Great shot. This is Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course, Indigo, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, look at the 24-hour temperature change. So we're 15 to 20, upwards to 25 degrees colder right now compared to this time last night. It's just going to get colder as we go through the overnight hours. Near 80 yesterday. We stayed into the 60s all night, and then you can clearly see where the cold front was at about 10 o'clock during the morning hours. And since then, the rest of the day we sat into lower 50s. Now we're dropping into the 40s, upper 40s to near 50. But once we get rid of all the clouds, then our temperatures are going to take a dip later on tonight. You can see the front pushing through earlier today. Kind of windy behind it. We had winds gusting 25, 30, 35 miles per hour at times. Still breezy, but not near as bad as what we did see earlier today. We're dry right now. We've had a few little sprinkles, but it looks okay. 49, north winds at about 15. Humidity is pretty dry at about 39%, but you can see the showers mainly in our far eastern, southeastern counties. I don't expect much from this point on. You may get a random sprinkle, and that should be about it as this system is wrapping up, heading off toward the east. All the heavier rain, mainly across parts of Illinois and also Indiana. But again, heading away from us. Here's the jet stream. It's diving out of Canada, so it brings in that colder air, and that's why we're quite a bit cooler. We're going to stay cooler over the next couple days. Look at the temps, 21 in Rapid City, 33 in Sioux City, Wichita at 40, and then here's the front right through central parts of Arkansas. So we're on the colder side. We're going to stay there as we go through the next couple days. All right, near 30 tonight. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow. Our temperatures just struggle to warm up. Here's your forecast. We start at 32, 48 by noon, high temp 52, northwesterly winds at about 10 to 15. Tomorrow night it gets even colder. Clear skies, the winds diminish. So we're going to drop into mid to upper 20s for overnight lows. But finally by Friday we get southerly winds back. So this helps us go into the mid 50s. This will help us go into the 60s by the time Saturday rolls around. Another wave drops in, a few little showers Saturday night into Sunday morning, and then we cool back down as we head into Sunday. So we're just going to keep jumping these hills on the roller coaster as we go through, the next week or so. 52 tomorrow, 55 on Friday, 62 Saturday, 57 Sunday, only 48 on Monday. Back to 63 by Wednesday, so kind of all over the place over the next week.
Yeah, on average, though, acceptable temperatures, right?
Yep, but that average is going down.
Yeah.
So,
Doug, thank you so much, man. All right, coming up in sports, Frontenac Raiders aim to move on to the state championship game. Also, the Webb City Cardinals preparing to host Lebanon in the state quarterfinals. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
Start Saturday.
We have 5 local high school football teams still alive for state championships this season. In southeast Kansas, the Frontenac Raiders are the last team in our area still standing. Frontenac hosts Holton on Friday in the 3A state semifinals. The winner moves on to play for a state championship. The Raiders are 9-2 heading into Friday, while Holton is still undefeated at 11-0. Now this one is a bit of a revenge game for Frontenac. Holton actually knocked the Raiders out of the playoffs in the quarterfinals last season, beating the Raiders in Frontenac 42-6.
Last year, I don't know if we believed we were going to win last year, and I think our kids believe it. We're excited for the challenge. We know how good they are, but we're motivated to prove others wrong.
They're a smash mouth football team, and that's what we love on defense. We love going up against those teams that run the ball heavy, and we prepare for it heavy. We went against them last year, and we just think we're going to be prepared this time.
It's more about just executing and who's going to win the one-on-one battles, because they won them last year. They were more physical, they tackled better, all that. So the little things matter, and that's what's important.
The Webb City Cardinals are district champions for the 22nd consecutive season. After topping Carthage for a district title last week, Webb City gets a home game in the quarterfinals this week. And Danny Terzer catches up with the Cardinals ahead of Friday night's quarterfinal showdown with Lebanon.
The Webb City Cardinals are locked in for another week of postseason football.
I mean, it feels great. Every team wants to be in the position we are right now, and coming off of last week's win, we want to do better than we did last week, so we've been putting in work out here.
Webb City took down undefeated Carthage last Friday to earn their spot in the state quarterfinals.
I think it's a great learning lesson for us, for our football team, as we've kind of grown through this year. Just to never give up, never give in. We're down 14-0 on 2 turnovers. And, we could have packed our bags and just, called it a year. But, our kids kept battling.
It was a big win that deserved celebration, but now the Cardinals have only one thing on their minds.
We took Saturday and Sunday off, didn't come in, just said, you guys enjoy this. Monday morning, we do a scouting report on Monday morning. I said, once we get to that point, we're not looking back, we're looking forward. And so this whole week, that's all we've thought about is trying to get ready for Lebanon.
We had fun, we loved it, it was a great experience, but we had to put that past us because now we're on to bigger things and we need to just work hard here so we can keep moving on.
Webb City will host Lebanon. The Yellow Jackets are 10-1.
They really do a great job of controlling the football and being really, really patient on offense. And, so you kind of understand as an offensive team yourself, you've got to be able to maximize your opportunities, can't make mistakes, and you got to try to get yourselves off the field on defense.
The Cardinals get to play in front of their home crowd, so while it's quiet here now, come Friday, the stands behind me will be filled.
Oh, it's great. It's a great atmosphere. And whenever you're out here, when you're walking down there and you just see everyone out here and you hear everyone cheering, it just feels good.
In Webb City, Danny Terzer, KOAM Sports.
Webb City's game against Lebanon kicks off Friday night at 7 p.m. in Webb City. So we've told you about Frontenac and Webb City. Here are the other 3 teams in our area still playing. Friday night, the Grove Ridge Runners play in the 2A quarterfinals against Elk City. Then on Saturday, Lamar faces Ava in the Class 2 quarterfinals at 1, while Seneca plays Mexico in the Class 3 quarterfinals at 2. And the winners of those games move on to the Final 4. And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Pivoting.
So today is Guinness World Records Day, and officials say many people have a chance at making it into the iconic book. Fox News correspondent Marianne Rafferty has a look at the incredible talents turning people into record breakers.
From doing the most single-leg backward somersaults in 30 seconds to being the fastest person to pull a car while walking on their hands. These are just some of the latest records set ahead of the 17th annual Guinness World Records Day.
Guinness World Records Day is a global celebration of record breaking. It's a chance for anyone who wants to tick off getting their name in the famous Guinness World Records books.
And the desire to land a coveted spot in the book isn't going unnoticed, as officials travel far and wide to document more amazing talents and extraordinary skills from people around the globe.
Find whatever you're really good at, see what the record is, train for it as hard as you can, and do it. Honestly, you won't regret it.
Ashley Watson from the UK has secured his title. The gymnast now holds the record for the farthest backflip between 2 horizontal bars. And back here in the States, Laura Biondo has not 1, but 2 new records for most double around-the-world ball control tricks in 1 minute and most sit-down football crossovers in 30 seconds.
The most important thing is to inspire girls to
follow their dreams and to know that if you set yourself a goal, you can definitely achieve it if you put hard work into it.
And now you can join in the action. Guinness World Records is encouraging everyone to take part in the celebrations by showing their unique talents on social media using the hashtag GWRDay. Marianne Rafferty, Fox News.
Just looking at some of that stuff makes me nauseous. All right, next, the stars of Harry Potter reunites for a special on HBO Max. Hollywood Nation coming your way. A trio of wizards kick off the new year with a reunion, and a long-running soap opera is getting into the holiday spirit with its first Christmas movie. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has the latest from the Hollywood Nation.
We have to release the information.
Lawrence tries to save the world, a soapy spinoff, and Hogwarts is back in session in the Hollywood Nation.
Good afternoon, class.
Harry Potter fans are in for a special treat this holiday season. Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and Emma Watson are reuniting for HBO Max's retrospective special, Harry Potter 20th Anniversary Return to Hogwarts. The memorable tribute will celebrate the milestone anniversary of the franchise's first film, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. It will feature other cast members and honor the magic behind the making of all 8 films. The event premieres New Year's Day and will air on TBS and Cartoon Network in spring 2022.
I have been keeping the most terrible secret.
One of TV's longest-running soap operas, Days of Our Lives, is getting a movie. Peacock announced the show's first feature spin-off titled Days of Our Lives, A Very Salem Christmas. It will feature Chandler Massey reprising his daytime Emmy Award-winning role as Will Horton. The film will follow his character as he writes a screenplay before a Christmas Eve deadline. Eileen Davidson, who plays Kristen DeMera on the show, will be among the cast for the holiday film. It premieres December 16th.
I say we sit tight and assess.
Sit tight and assess?
And Netflix dropped a new trailer to Adam McKay's star-studded comedy, Don't Look Up. Jennifer Lawrence and Leonardo DiCaprio star as astronomers who go on a tour around the country warning people that a comet is heading towards Earth. Meryl Streep, Jonah Hill, Timothée Chalamet, Ariana Grande, and Cate Blanchett are among the A-list cast. The film premieres in select theaters December 10th and will be available to stream December 24th.
There it is!
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Going to leave you with video of new floats unveiled for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Be safe. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.